HoopsOnLane.com Fan Podcast, Episode 38, Maryland Postgame.
Hoops on Lane Fan Podcast is sponsored by About Face Cosmetic Therapy Center, because basketball season is also laser hair removal season.
You're listening to Hoops on Lane, a fan-produced pregame and postgame podcast about the Ohio State University men's basketball team. Visit hoopsonlane.com or subscribe where you listen to podcasts for all the latest episodes and information. Now here's your host, Dave Horning.
Greetings, Hoops fans. This is Dave Horning for HoopsOnLane.com Fan Podcast, with a review of the Ohio State's victory over the Maryland Terrapins, winning by the score of 91-69. Way to go, Bucks. This win means that Ohio State has a record of 5 wins and no losses in the Big Ten, tied with Purdue for first place. Maryland is now 3-3 and in the middle of the pack. Ohio State started out slow this game. On the first possession, Jae'Sean Tate took a 3-point shot and missed. Even though he was wide open, this was not the shot the Buckeyes need on offense. In fact, the Buckeye offense was anemic for the first 10 minutes, scoring only 13 points in the first 10 minutes of the game and trailing 13-20 until Coach Holtman called the best timeout of the year. Coming out of the timeout, Caleb Wesson scored on an assist by Jae'Sean Tate, and the Buckeyes were back to playing solidly on offense and defense. The Buckeyes extended their defense and started picking up Maryland's Kevin Huerter far outside the three-point arc, which eliminated his long uncontested threes. The Buckeyes were solid on defense the rest of the game. And Ohio State started to hit some threes. Surprisingly, it was Andrew Dockich hitting 2 in a row, and then Keita Bates-Diop hitting 2 of 3. Ohio State would make 6 of 8 three-pointers for the second part of the first half to outscore Maryland 31-12, and the lead went from Maryland up by 7 to Ohio State up by 12 at the half. Andrew Dockich was outstanding in the first half, scoring 11 points on 3 of 4 three-point shots and making his only 2-point jumper. These were all wide-open shots. Maryland was daring him to shoot, and he responded. This is great news for the inside game of Caleb Wesson, as it will prevent teams from sagging and denying him the pass inside. Keita Bates-Diop missed his first 3 shots, but the good news is that he kept shooting, and he found his range. He finished 6 of 8 on his 3-point shots and scored 26 points. It was another solid performance. But it was Jae'Sean Tate who had his best game of the year, in my opinion. With about 4.5 minutes left in the first half, Jae'Sean came flying in from the free throw line to snare an offensive rebound, passed to Keita Bates-Diop, who hit a 3-point shot, and keep the Buckeyes' momentum alive. It is Jae'Sean Tate who is becoming the unselfish team player, the senior who is working hard to let others shine, and that is one of the keys to success for this Buckeyes team. About a minute later, Jae'Sean found himself underneath the basket, but he passed out to Andrew Dockich, who made a 3-point shot. Last year, Jae'Sean would have forced up the shot from underneath and it would have been blocked. Maryland has 2 big men, and Jae'Sean can't outmuscle those kind of players underneath in Big Ten play. Jae'Sean had a great game. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 blocks, and only 1 turnover. He was the Buckeye player of the game in my book. C.J. Jackson and Cam Williams were also solid, and Caleb Wesson held his own against the 7-1 Michael Sikorsky. The Buckeyes absolutely owned the second half. After the first 5 minutes, they had a 20-point lead at 58-38. Good shooting and strong defense were the keys. They built the lead to 27 points at one point, and towards the end of the game, Andre Wesson, Joey Lane, and Micah Potter also made 3-point shots. For the night, Ohio State made 17 of 29 on its 3-point shots for 59%. But this is a strong Maryland team that is tall and gathered 14 offensive rebounds against the Buckeyes. Fortunately, we do not have to play them again in the regular season. Coming up next for the Buckeyes is the 3-point stretch of away games. At Rutgers this Sunday, at Northwestern on Wednesday, and at Madison Square Garden next Saturday, January the 20th, against Minnesota at noon. This is a critical stretch for the Buckeyes. We need to come out strong in the early minutes and not get into the habit of falling behind. Next home game is Monday, January 22nd against Nebraska. This is Dave Horning for HoopsOnLane.com Fan Podcast. See you at the game.